Stimulus update. $2.2 trillion stimulus package proposal unveiled includes $1,200 stimulus checks and $600 unemployment benefits. So this is very similar to the previous package that the House has proposed, except it's roughly $1 trillion cheaper. Now, in order to pass any type of stimulus package of this magnitude, both the House and the Senate need to approve. So it seems like the Democrats have come down a little bit because the Republican proposal is roughly half of this amount with not nearly as many benefits as this Democratic proposal. But let's read through this and I'll give you my thoughts. Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats unveiled a revised coronavirus stimulus package proposed earlier today. This relief package is an updated version of the $3.4 trillion HEROES Act that House Democrats passed in May and comes at a $2.2 trillion in cost. So what's in it? I think the thing most people would be excited to hear and would directly affect them is this $1,200 second stimulus check. This proposal calls for another round of direct payments to Americans, $1,200 for qualifying taxpayers and $500 per dependent. So in order to get this, if we keep to the same standards as the previous time we got it, you would get the full amount as a single filer if you make under $75,000 for your adjusted gross income, and that amount would decrease all the way up to $99,000. So if you make more than $99,000, you would no longer get a second stimulus check. If you're the head of the household, though, obviously the income threshold increases in which you get the full amount because there's more people in your house. So you get the full amount if your AGI is about $112,000 or less, and the amount would decrease until you reach about $146,000, at which you wouldn't be eligible anymore. And also, if you are a married couple filing jointly with no children, you could get $2,400 if your combined income is under $150K, and the amount would decrease until you hit $198,000. So if you're a married couple and you make over $198,000, you would not get this second stimulus check. It's for people that really need it. And this, as long as you filed your taxes and you have a bank account on file where you can get tax refunds from the federal government, where there's a place for direct deposits, then you will get your stimulus check. As long as you qualify, they'll just deposit it in that account that's associated with you. If you have not filed for taxes, there is a place, and I'll link it in the description box below here on the IRS, where you can enter payment info here. And this is a direct irs.gov site. But again, for most people that have filed taxes, it shouldn't be that hard and you should get it. Keep an eye out for it if this ever comes to pass. And one thing to note about stimulus checks as they come out, there are a lot of scams because they know there's going to be a lot of money circulating. So even me, I've gotten multiple mails, like physical mails, writing about some kind of Nigerian business, or actually they've evolved to other countries, but those types of scams, they're everywhere. They will either want to take your money or they will come under the guise as an opportunity for you to get your money. So if you get this money, I would recommend that just use it for what you actually need. Use it for food, pay down debt, other necessities, or just hold it for a rainy day fund. $1,200 is a lot of money, but it's also not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But that's it on the stimulus check. Let's go through what else this act contains. We have the $600 extra federal unemployment benefit. This would restart the $600 federal unemployment booster that expired at the end of July, and it would continue it until the end of January 21st. Now, if you remember this benefit, it's really nice because not only do you get your previous regular unemployment that varies state to state, that ranges from as low as $50 all the way up to $607 depending on what state you're in. This is on top of that. Some people were actually making more than they were previously making, which seemed unfair, but the point of this booster, its intention was to actually replace your income. That's why it's so high. And instead of judging each individual and making a calculation on exactly how much additional income they would need, $600 was the average amount of what it would take to make an average American that went unemployed whole. So it didn't just take into consideration the person making $20,000 or $30,000 and didn't have a job. It also took in consideration the person that was making $70,000, $80,000 and didn't have a job. $600 was the average of that. So some people still saw a decrease in their income and some people saw a big boost in their income. The Republican proposal from the Senate, called a skinny bill, has a $300 weekly weekly unemployment. It's a lot less than the $600, and obviously on its face looks a lot less unappealing, but they were really trying to combat this idea that you could be making more money not to work, and they really wanted to encourage people to go back to work. So there's also state and city aid. The biggest budget item included in the updated package is $436 billion in aid to states and cities to help alleviate budget shortfalls caused by COVID-19. And this is a dramatic reduction from the over $900 billion that Democrats had included in the original HEROES Act. So this is actually where Democrats took a big price cut. I know the states and cities, a lot of them are running out of money, or they have already run out of money. This illness is really expensive to deal with, especially when your economies have come to a screeching halt. So there's more support for small businesses. This new proposal would include additional support for businesses by extending the Paycheck Protection Program. And Paycheck Protection Program was a program where you could apply for an interest-free loan to basically pay your workers or pay yourself. And again, this is to encourage you to stay home, and this would replace your regular income. And then as long as you use the majority of it for payroll, it could be completely forgiven. So this is essentially free money. And there was a huge scandal about really large businesses taking advantage of it when they actually had enough money. But also, another topic for another time, there's funding for airline industry workers. Additional funding would be provided to keep airline industry workers paid. There's education and childcare. The updated HEROES Act includes $225 billion for education, as well as $57 billion that would go to support childcare for families. Additional items, the proposal would include funding for election security, U.S. Postal Service, worker safety, food security, coronavirus testing, tracing, and treatment. Will this proposal lead to a new bill? Negotiations have been at a standstill. Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin have resumed talks in hopes of reaching an agreement before the November election. They spoke Monday and also agreed to speak Tuesday morning. Mnuchin's priorities for the next bill is additional aid for small businesses, which are included in this updated proposal. The sticking points are the same as before. What level of federal unemployment aid to offer the millions of unemployed individuals, and how much aid to offer states and cities. While the economy is still struggling, there has been improvement over the past few months, with unemployment dropping to 8.4%. The case for compromising on the $600 per week unemployment insurance is much stronger. So the chances of this getting passed right now are definitely better than it was before, because there's just more pressure, and Trump is incentivized to do something like pass a big bill, especially before the election, because people still need help. But there is something important to note in all that, and that is unemployment has gotten better. It is decreasing. So $600 a week is less reasonable if less people are unemployed. President Trump already made an executive order that boosted unemployment, that gave an additional $300 of unemployment, and $100 would come from the states. So a $400 boost is already in place, though idea-wise it's good. On execution, a lot of states are having issues, or are going to have issues if they attempt to implement it, because this overrides all of the previous systems that they set up before, and it's just a very complicated process to do in practice, and especially since he did it through executive order. Anyways, these are all just ideas right now. This is just what potentially is coming. Keep an eye out for it. Nothing is set in stone. Things should be moving faster now, because we are running out of time and people are still suffering. That's it for today. If that was helpful, please hit the like button. It helps my channel tremendously. This is Green Knight Trading, where Squires become knights. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and stay tuned.